Hello everyone, my name is Zero, and today we're going to be going over the new Ghosts of Koresh Warlock tier set bonuses coming in patch 11.2. We're going to start off with the name and appearance of the new set, then jump into the tier bonuses afterwards. Starting from left to right, we have LFR, Normal, Heroic, and the Mythic appearances for the tier set, aptly named the Inquisitor's Feast of Madness set. Now, onto the bonuses. These are different, yet interesting new additions to tier bonuses as they are focused around the hero talents for each class, instead of being focused around each specialization. Starting off with the Soul Harvester bonus, which is shared between Affliction and Demonology, which reads as... The two-piece reads as, Shadow of Death unleashes your demonic soul to assault your current target for 12 seconds, dealing shadow damage to it, then additional shadow damage to enemies within 10 yards with each swipe. The four-piece reads as, Demonic Soul damage increased by 45% and Wicked Reaping damage increased by 45%. Your Demonic Soul generates one soul shard every 3 seconds while assaulting enemies. This tier bonus revolves around your Demonic Soul and Shadow of Death abilities in the Soul Harvester hero talent tree. Shadow of Death is the capstone node of Soul Harvester that reads as, whenever you cast Soul Rot for Affliction or summon Demonic Tyrant for Demonology, it grants the player 3 succulent soul shards, which in turn summons your Demonic Soul whenever you spend a soul shard. This bonus is very interesting and currently very strong as it has both single target and AoE applications for its damage. Additionally, though a soul shard generation is sort of an added bonus for Demonology, it is, what I think, a very good thing for Affliction, as it does tend to be more soul shard hungry compared to the other two specs. A thing of note that I don't see many people noticing or picking up on regarding this bonus, back during the beta for The War Within, specifically the July 17th, 2024 development notes, Blizzard buffed the Demonic Soul from Soul Harvester to benefit from Demonology's Mastery and the Shadow Touched ability, which is why in current testing as of 6/20/2025, this bonus seems to be doing significantly more damage for Demonology compared to Affliction. I feel that maybe tuning this tier bonus differently for Affliction would be a step in the right direction of addressing this. Maybe adding some kind of bonus to Soul Anathema, which is buffed by Affliction's Mastery, could address this. However, I am saying this as a precaution, as the first build of the 11.2 PTR has no changes to Affliction that may be coming in a future build that may address this as well. Now on to Hellcaller, which is shared between Affliction and Destruction. The two-piece tier bonus reads as, Mark Xavius increases Blackened Soul damage by an additional 3% for Destruction and 6% for Affliction, bringing both of these bonuses up to 5 and 8% respectively. Malevolence increases the stack count of Wither by an additional 2 stacks, which brings up the stack count from 6 to 8. The 4-piece bonus reads as, Casting Malevolence grants 2 stacks of Backdraft for Destruction, or 2 stacks of Tormented Crescendo for Affliction, and prevents Blackened Soul from consuming stacks while dealing damage 15% faster for Destruction and 25% faster for Affliction for 8 seconds. Admittedly, there's a lot of words and interactions if you're not familiar with Hellcaller that are involved with this set, so let me break them down. Malevolence is the main cooldown for Hellcaller, which gives the player increased haste, does a bit of damage, and increases the stat count of Wither by 6, now 8 with the tier bonus. Blackened Soul, as shown on screen, is, whenever you spend a soul shard, Wither gains a stack. Each time it gains a stack, it has a chance to collapse, consuming a stack every 1 second and dealing Shadow Flame damage to the target until 1 stack remains. The tier bonus grants more stacks of Wither to be gained whenever you press Malevolence, while also causing those stacks to trigger their damage at a much faster rate, while preventing those stacks from ticking down. This leads to more Blackened Soul damage via Mark Xavius, which is also buffed by the tier bonus. The added bonus of having 2 Tormented Crescendo procs for whenever you use Malevolence for Affliction is amazing and a great addition. However, having 2 backdraft stacks does admittedly feel a little awkward, as sometimes you can overcap on those stacks, but it still feels nice to have for Destruction, though it could be reworked into something else. Finally, we will be going over the Diabolist bonus, which is shared between Demonology and Destruction. The two-piece reads as, Chaos Bolt and Rain of Fire for Destruction, or a 3-shard Hand of Gul'dan for Demonology, summons a Demonic Oculus up to 3. Consuming Demonic Art flings your Demonic Oculi at your current target, exploding for fire damage on the target, and fire damage to nearby enemies within 10 yards. The 4-piece reads as, Demonic Oculi analyze the battle while active and deliver information to you as they explode, increasing your intellect by 2% for 10 seconds. The 2-piece revolves around the demonic art aspect of Diabolus. To put it simply, Diabolus has a buff called Diabolic Ritual that counts down as you spend soul shards. Once the timer runs out, you gain a buff that summons one of 3 demons in sequential order: the Overlord, Mother of Chaos, and finally the Pit Lord, repeating. Casting Chaos Bolt / Rain of Fire or 3-shard Hand of Gul'dans as mentioned earlier, summon a demonic oculi, which is indicated by an eyeball floating above you. There's a picture on screen for what it should look like, as it is currently bugged on PTR. Summoning one of the big 3 demons via Diabolic Ritual will fling these eyeballs at your target. The 4-piece is admittedly not as flashy, though having a near permanent 2 to 6% int increase is still nice to have. I'll place some examples on screen of what each bonus does, though the Diabolist one seems to be bugged and the Hellcaller one is hard to catch, but I'll display it nonetheless. Overall, I feel that these tier bonuses are a big step up from the previous Liberation of Undermined ones. They feel thematic, impactful, and not as RNG heavy as before. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video and more content to come.